Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch, my friends. A beautiful morning here in Melbourne, Florida, and you know what comes next. Drink it if you got it. Busy chat this morning. Wow, busy. There's Peter. I haven't eaten. I've been up since 5. I haven't even seen Peter in here yet until just now. Good morning, Peter. Rick and Grace to Lily have been carrying the water here so far. It's obvious to me that you guys take this number 1, number 2, number 3 seriously. That's okay. That's okay. It's just another game. Just another game. Sean Shively said, coffee is bad for you. Hot green tea is good for you, just saying. Well, Sean, my friend, good morning to you. You keep on drinking that hot green tea. Get your daily share of those oxalates, my friend. They're good for you. I don't know. Please, don't tell us what to do. I don't tell you what to do. Nobody likes to be told what to do. Nobody likes to hear things like, don't do this. You need to learn this. You need to learn that. You know, we could be wrong, all of us. But you could be wrong too. So, be nice. Be nice. You know, I don't like to be told what to do. So, if you got coffee, drink it. If you got tea, drink it. If you don't drink tea or coffee, drink water. Or don't drink. Whatever you want. This is a freedom zone. You're free to do anything you like. Oh, Sean says it was a suggestion we need to learn together. Yes, we do. Okay, Sean, you're off the hook, my friend. Never mind. Don't get me started this morning. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I watched Kelsey for a while, but I actually had work to do this morning. Let me get my show notes up here. And the big deal of the day today is it is Black Friday in July, guys. We've all been waiting for this. Everyone loves a deal. Everyone loves a bargain. So I'll just get this out of the way real quick. Real quick. You go to my website, OldGuyCarnivore.com, and you'll see today, at least you'll see it when the site caching catches up with all the new changes I just made. You'll see this Amazon Prime Day deals. It's also up here in the menu. I went through every one of the items in my stuff I use, so you don't have to. I deleted on this special page, Amazon Prime Day deals, all of the things that I don't think are such a hot deal. Now, you can still find those items on my stuff I use every day page, but the ones that I think are pretty good deals, if you've been waiting for any of these things, just go on the website, go to the Amazon Prime Day deals, or click that box that comes up, and these are the things that they got good deals on today. If you happen to need them, be a great time to stock up. The pork rind crumbs, the red bin real salt, the frying pans are all on sale. All on sale. The Mueller is like $28. The 10-inch Mueller is $23. And the Dubai is the best deal of the day. It's my favorite carbon steel pan. Normally 110 bucks. It's 63 bucks. If you don't have one of those, you've always wanted one, now's the time. I don't want to sound like the Home Shopping Club, but these prices are pretty good. I also got the prices on the smoker, the wireless thermometer, the thing I use to catch my bacon grease, the Instant Pot Duo has a good deal right now. It's $89, 36 days, $36 off. If you need just a cheap little air fryer, something you don't air fry a lot, or you just live by yourself, you don't need an expensive. This thing is under $189. That's a good deal. And of course, my favorite, the one that I use, the only one I really recommend anymore, is the 7-in-1 Ninja. God, I just keep coming up with new things to do with this. Made a lot of videos about it. The lowest price I've ever seen on this was $179. 184 bucks, man. Don't, if you got to buy an air fryer, I would not buy anything other than this, unless you just need that little cheap one. But these things are on sale now. This thing lasts for 3 days. I'm not going to be bugging the hell out of you about this, but I put these up there. I did leave my WeVac vacuum sealers and this the same model crock pot that I've been using for years and years and years, the digital with the built-in thermometer that I do all my slow cooking in for my video, 62 bucks. And it doesn't pay not to have this stuff. The cost of food. My coffee mug warmer is a pretty good deal. And something I use every day is my water bottle to mix my electrolytes in, and that's down to 21 bucks. And you get all this, all kinds of different caps and straws and stainless steel thermos. It's great. A carrying case for it, 20 bucks. Everybody should have one. Stay hydrated. And what else I got? These are always on sale. My solar power backup generator things. Last year, people bought the hell out of these things, and they're on sale now. Almost all the different models. And my vibration plate that I just bought is on sale now. And the resistance bands and blood pressure monitor and my smart thermometer. All these things are Amazon Prime Day deals. Now, Amazon sent me a spreadsheet a few weeks ago that contained over 500,000 items. They sent this to confidential, and they sent this to all of their affiliate members, all of their affiliates and influencers, and they wanted me, like everybody else, and you'll see it all over YouTube today. They wanted me to become a home shopping club. Well, I'm not interested in all that other 500,000 stuff that's on sale. You can find that on your own. I was only interested in the stuff that I use and that you guys seem to buy on a regular basis. So I created that website page this morning. If for some reason you only my old website without that page comes up, but it might. Give us some time to propagate out on the internet. I don't know why the caching does that on my site, but I don't think it will happen, but it might. So this is what you should see when you go to my homepage, Amazon Prime Day deals. There you go. Have fun. And if you want to buy something else, go in through one of these links and buy whatever you want on Amazon. They pay me for it. So this is a great time for me. Maybe I'll make more than the piddly little amount that I make for Amazon, and it won't cost you anything if you want to do something nice for me. But that's up to you. I don't force it on anybody. I got more sponsors want me to sponsor their videos. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. the things that people, and the gyrations they go through to get to you, and the amount of spam they keep sending you, they will not go away. I'm up to maybe 2 or 3 offers a day to sell my viewers stuff that has nothing whatsoever to do with my content or the carnivore lifestyle. That's just the way it is. Just the way it is. My phone's been going ding. Is it important? No. Okay. Oh, speaking of, I just got an email from one of my credit cards. Capital One. Redeem your rewards on must-have Amazon.com Prime Day deals. You're going to be deluged with this stuff today. So anyway, I tried to narrow it down for you and give you a way to find out the stuff that you're most likely to want on Prime Day that is on sale. And most of the stuff that I had listed was not, so I didn't put it on that page. But I kind of searched through them so you don't have to. There you go. Enough said about that. Where are we? Got that out of the way quick. Well, not that. Keep doing it. Keep looking up there to the left. My clock. Why don't I just look straight ahead? Hey, I need to stretch my neck a little bit. I had a good day today. Yesterday morning, I told you it was a new day, a new dawn for me. I was walking unassisted, actually something that resembled walking. I made it until about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when I finally, I think, ran out of gas. That's what it's like. It's like running out of gas. So for the rest of the day, I tried to walk when I could, but I kept the walker near me because I was just tired. Woke up this morning and did it again. I haven't been using the walker. I haven't been even using the cane. I've been carrying it with me. So it wasn't just a fluke yesterday. The improvements are beginning to add up. And God, that's a big relief off my back because, let's face it, at my age, you know, the thought crosses my mind, well, Mitch, maybe you're going to be walker bound for the rest of your life. But it appears that maybe in a few more months, because I know it's going to take at least that long, I'll be making my walk and talk videos around the community again. Moving along at a brisk pace, going for a few miles and not tiring out. That's the goal. That's the goal. Oh, God, I probably have let 1,000 entries in the chat go by. Let me see who was here last night at 6:45 p.m. Mary M. was first and Proud American was second and Mandy Meadows was third and Rick chimed in at fourth. How you doing? See you tomorrow morning, Rick. And Michael Pregler said good evening, and this is all the pre-chat stuff. Nikki W. was here. Smoothie said good evening. Wayne Herman from Lake Gaston, North Carolina. Pearl Grandma Wendy told us all good night. Chris Swain from Australia. Lady June Gem, the West Coast. How you doing? See you in the morning, she says. Graceful Lily was here. Tuka from Finland. Hiya, Tuka. How you doing, my friend? Arlene Blackwood. Hi, Arlene. And Arlene was here at 3 o'clock in the morning. And, of course, Mike Seeley Jr. from Tampa chimed in at 4:39 a.m., followed by the first person that got a good night's sleep, Wayne Herman again, 6 a.m. Peter chimed in at, what time, Peter? 7:03, and Rick made an appearance at 7:14. Mike Seeley Sr. chimed in at, I wish they wouldn't. They print things, they use gray text so often. You can't read the gray text on a blue background. Sorry. 7:25. Pearl Grandma Wendy this morning. Rick is back, and Rick will be back and back and back, earning him the #1 horse race spot for the day. Yes, sir. Rick, the winner, but not of the 8:30. We'll see. We'll see about that. And yeah, Wendy's here. She's awake. Here comes Rick. I said hello to everybody. Let's see who I haven't said hi to. Sandy Blythe, good morning to you. Professor Mitch. Professor Mitch, that's me. Smoothie's here this morning. Retired Rick. I am retired Rick. Good to see you. And a question right off the bat. What is the benefit of drinking sparkling water compared to tap water? Other than the fact that it may contain some minerals, none. I don't think that you should drink it for the minerals. I think maybe sparkling water because you like the fizz. I like the feeling of the carbonation. But it's hard to tell exactly what you're drinking because they're not sold as mineral water with a whole list of ingredients. It's just that, hey, we got this water out of the ground at someplace in France or Italy, and it's been hanging out near rocks for quite a while, so I'm sure some of the rock has dissolved in it, so it's got minerals in it. Who knows what's in it? I'm sure it's been analyzed, and you could probably, if you can even read, I got this bottle of San Pellegrino here. They print the label, again, with text on a background with patterns. The text is light. You need a microscope to read what anything it says on a label ingredients are. So it almost appears as though they're trying to camouflage it, but yet putting it on there. I haven't gone out and taken photographs of that and tried to enlarge them enough to where I could read them because I don't care. It's got minerals in it. Good question, though. Richard Williams is with us, 814, and Rick is back. Smoothie, Charger, Rick, movie. Aaron, how you doing, Aaron? I got my first hate comment on my last video. Yeah, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, and I can see why they would hate you, Aaron. Boy. You probably have attracted the lowest of the low human debris. And they're out there. I get them. I got a new policy now. I'm sorry. I hate to use the word blocked because you're not blocked. You can still watch my videos. You can still comment. It's just that nobody else will see your comments ever. Except you. So you think you're commenting, but you're not. It's called hide the user. And I would suggest, Aaron, that anytime you get any comment, and make sure you haven't misunderstood what they meant, any comment that you find unnecessary, ignorant, stupid, mean, evil, just hide the user. Don't even think about it. Don't feel bad about it. Certainly don't ever enter into any debate with them. They are fools, morons. They can do whatever they want. Look at this website, Aaron, as your house. You are inviting people into your house. They have no rights in your house. You can throw anybody out of your house that you want. They're free to go anywhere else on the planet. But if we, as human beings, can't reserve the right to not have these people interfere in our lives in any way, then it's political correctness has come to an all-new sad height. I don't tolerate it. Do whatever you want to do in your own house. You want to preach your gospel? If I'm tired of hearing your gospel and you want me to adapt your gospel, not in my house. Go to your own house. I have that right. So I exercise it every day. every day because I get a lot of comments, and there's always 5 or 10 of them that are uncalled for, ignorant, and insulting, which is the worst of it. Telling me why I'm wrong, why I'm dangerous, and everything else. So you understand, I'm passionate about this. But rather than complain about it, I just say, okay, don't need you, bye. And I don't get upset. Consider the source. Don't get upset. But you have arrived. You have arrived when you start getting people like that. That means that someone other than people that love you are watching your videos. How about that? People can disagree with you or me. They're free to do that. But don't be demanding that I do something so that I conform to your nonsense. It's uncalled for. Not kind. And I'm getting more and more intolerant of it, and I just don't let it really. Although it sounds like I'm upset, I'm just trying to show you how firm I am about getting these people out of my sphere as quickly as possible. Grace Lily's here. How you doing, Lily? Good to see you. And I see Peter's up to number 3. Number 3, you're climbing fast, Peter. I think Rick is still number 1. Yes, he is. And I think Lily was number 2 the last I saw. Wow. Prolific posters. And we at 8:30 at 8:29. Lori, how you doing? As of the sparkling water, I drink mineral water. So extra minerals is the benefit, plus it's like a treat. Yeah, why not? Why not? Can't hurt you. If it's something your body doesn't need, you'll probably get rid of it. I don't believe there's oxalates in there, because that's not a mineral. $8.25. Lily, Rick, Lily, Lori. Mopar. Let's get this over with. 8:26. God, your people are chiming away. Holy cow. Anybody new? Yeah, Tina's here. Hiya, Tina. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you this morning. Paul Clark is here. 8:28. And there's another question already. I have noticed only carnivore lives have the crowns. I've yet to see another. Yeah, I know. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Maybe you have to be a certain channel size to have the crowns. I don't know what the deal is. I wouldn't be upset if that went away, but you guys seem to be enjoying it, so who cares? Who cares? In the overall scheme of things, it's no big deal. Lizzie's here. Good morning, Lizzie. How are you? How are you? 8:29. Claudia Burkick chimed in. 8:29. Lori Whitesell, 8:29. Aaron again. Tanya's here. Hiya, Tanya. How you doing? Good to see you this morning. And Marla Kelly's here. 8:29. Rick, 8:29. Lizzie, 8:29. Brian Dish, 8:29. Retired Rick, 8:29. And the winner this morning is Smoothie 420. Here we go. Congratulations, my friend. Okay, we got that out of the way. Let me see. Put questions in the chat. You have been QQQ, and I'll try to get to them. And we'll just interact, and something will trigger me off to go down a rabbit hole, and we'll talk about something or other. Let me get my annoying buy me a coffee link in the chat. Thank you very much in advance. All right, that's the last of any housekeeping. Let's see. Here we go. Terry Sue says, yay, Mitch. Karen Travis, good morning, all you beautiful carnivores. Eat meat. Sage advice. Peter says, good morning to everyone. Here is Rockin' Keto, Amy. I don't know that name. Good morning, Amy. Welcome. Glad you found us. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Melissa B is here. How you doing, sweetie? You got it, Lori. Sip. Concise, short, and to the point. Lady June, thought she was late. Thomas is here. Good morning, Thomas. How you doing? Life is good, Mitch. Hello, Mitch and the Misfits. Good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Steve Rogers. Captain America, our own superhero. He's with us this morning. Good morning, Larry. Larry Ryan. Good morning, Mitch. Loretta Nadow is here this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Rocky, I knew you were. Rockin' Keto Amy. New to the channel. We're a pretty... we've been doing this for a long time, this morning coffee thing. It started out a year ago with me sitting out on my couch outside with a cigar, talking about comments from morons, and it then progressed to a live stream, and then I had my stroke. But I was back within a month, and now we're up to 6 days a week again. So welcome, and in all that time, I've gotten to know the people that regularly come in here like personal friends. So I hope you come back. I like to see new people come in. I hope I speak my mind, and sometimes I might offend people, but most people have gotten to know me pretty well. Allow me to say what I really think instead of what I think people really want to hear. You'll never hear anything out of my mouth that isn't true to form and who I am and what I believe. It's tough to be that way in this world today. You have to be so politically incorrect or politically correct that you never, I don't want to use the word offend, but never argue with anybody about anything. There's no, political correctness is the death of true debate. And without debate, what have we got? Lori got up at 4 o'clock. B Matt. Hiya. How you doing, Matt? How are you, Brian? Good to see you this morning. Well, you're here. Terry says, I fell asleep during kilts and I win the cup. I wasn't able to, I had work to do this morning on my computer, so I wasn't able to hang in there with the whole thing, but I did watch it for a while. He had a good guest, interesting guy. Cash is his first name. He's the kind of guy you'd kind of expect to own a used car lot, but he was a nice guy, very nice guy. Claudia, good morning, and I said hi to Sandy, I think. Always be kind. I remember that name. Good morning. I'm drinking my electrolytes. Good for you. Anybody new? Amy, jump right in and is participating and saying hi to everybody. That's nice. And Barry's here. Barry Simon, good morning to you too, my friend. Looking for some QQQs, but I'll continue to say hi to people I haven't said hi to already. And here's Minitudes. Hello, everyone craving some Mitch information. I hope I can live up to that and oblige you. Peter is being helpful and says herbal teas like chamomile and hibiscus have very low oxalates. Well, I'll tell you, if you get, and I'm certainly going to chill for her, but I bought it myself, Sally Norton's book. Where is it here? Got it right here. Don't think Kilts is the only one that's going to have a book in hand. Toxic Superfoods. This is like the Bible. And one of the few places that point out the absolute havoc that these oxalates wreak on the human body, and nobody knows anything about it, and they continue to drink their green spinach smoothies. and like I did, and end up with a kidney full of kidney stones, joints that are arthritic, and little needle-like things coming out of their eyes, which they mistake for, like, the Sandman left it, all oxalate dumping or oxalate poisoning. This stuff is horrible. We should not, like Kilt says, eat plants, period. There are plants that are lower in oxalates, but for some reason, and I don't know if they knew what they were doing, when they picked out the list of superfoods, superfoods, spinach, dark chocolate, wine, oxalate, almonds. These are the highest oxalate and the most poisonous foods for the human animal. And then if it wasn't enough to just eat them, let's juice them and make smoothies out of them and see if we can't get 10 times more of that poison into our body with the same effort. So we take a pound of spinach and juice it to get half a glass of spinach juice and get all the goodness, like the oxalates that were in that whole pound of spinach in a couple of gulps. It's incredible. And people buy into that because somebody tells them it's healthy. Then we come along and say, hey, meat's healthy, and they think we're trying to kill them. They want to put us in jail, throw blood on us. It's an uphill battle, my friend, an uphill battle. Getting a little bit, maybe a little bit easier. More people have heard about carnivore today, but every time we make a little gain, the people who make so much money off of all this misinformation just ramp up the propaganda times 10, the phony studies, anything they can do so they don't have to give up selling junk and drugs to the human race. And they call it medicine. Crazy. But that's my soapbox. Yeah, it's QQQ. Tourman reporting for duty, sir. How are you, Boss Tuka? I am great. Better than great this morning. Even if I get incensed about a few things, I'm just fine. Just fine. Let me see how upset I am. I want to check my resting heart rate here. It's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Oh, can you see that? 65. 65 beats a minute. That's how upset I am right now. My normal resting heart rate is 60, so I'm an extra 5 beats per minute passionate this morning, but that's what I usually run about 57 to 68, somewhere in that range every day. As long as my heart's beating that slow, I'm happy. Blood pressure is normal. Bacon Baby's with us. Hiya, Bacon Baby. How are you? Didn't say hi to you this morning. And let's see, everybody's talking. It's going to be one of those days. A lot of chat happening. All the heavy hitters are here today. Don't let me stop you. I love it. I love to see everybody doing it. Peter says he detests the carnivore police. The folks who try to tell you I'm not carnivore because I eat pickles or drink coffee. Yeah, I know. There's always the Nazis out there, but the true scientific, never forget and remind them when they tell you, when they scold you. The true definition of a carnivorous animal is an animal that gets at least 70% of its nutrition from animal food. So many people argue with us. We're really omnivores. And they have a point. If not for the plants, we would not have survived as the human race. We wouldn't be here today. The plants were there for survival food, which is why we developed the different ways that we metabolize that survival food, aka sugar, and animal food, protein and fat. Protein and fat is better, but the sugar will do in a pinch. And that's perfectly normal. It's part of our ancestry and part of our past and our evolution. And we have evolved all of the pathways to become hybrid animals. A lion is not. A lion, you never see a lion munching on a beach. Probably a beach, a branch or a tree. The reason a lion is such a skilled hunter and so fast and has all the tools that they very rarely went hungry if there was anything around for them to catch. So humans, we never became that skilled. We don't have the speed, the muscles, the sharp teeth, the claws to tear apart our prey. We had to do it using our heads, but we're not the hunter that the shark is. We're not the hunter that the pure carnivores are, who never in their ancestral history had to settle for the survival food. And because the survival food was so scarce, it doesn't satisfy our hunger. We are just pushed to keep eating and keep eating because we may not find any more of it. And that's where the cravings come from. And that's why when you eat a big steak, you push it away and you say, God, I can't eat another bite. I am satisfied. But when you're eating pasta and ice cream and sugar and cookies and cake, your brain still thinks of that as survival food. It still will not let you feel satisfied. It increases your hunger, so you'll eat more. You gorge. And generally, the only time you stop, if you're an addict like that, and you have a history in your particular line of ancestries of long famines, you're programmed that way. The only time you stop, because I know that because I'm one of them, is when you're so stuffed and uncomfortable, you just almost can't move anymore. And that's when you stop eating the sugar. But, and tell me if you haven't experienced this, you get to that point, but within an hour, when your stomach finally empties some of, you're hungry again. The urge to eat has not left you. The famous joke is about Chinese food. You're always hungry an hour later. Nobody's hungry after a 24-ounce ribeye an hour later. You're lucky if you get hungry again for the rest of that day and maybe part of tomorrow. We are not supposed to eat sugar, but yes, we're omnivores. But we're not omnivores like a pig is. They don't eat all that stuff for survival. They just eat anything. We are carnivores, primarily. I wish people would get that into their head and stop, Peter, you're right. Stop telling them, you're not a good carnivore because you drink coffee. You walked by a bakery and smelled the bread, so how can you call yourself a carnivore? You know, part of the mindset of the people that I just can't deal with in this world are those that are holier than thou. Will criticize anybody else. Hyper judgmental people can go judge themselves. I don't want to argue with you or fight with you. I want you out of my sphere, my life, my sight, and my thoughts. You do whatever you want. I'll never come after you and tell you, well, you're this or that. I don't know where we got that. But that is prevalent in the human race these days, and it is very aggravating. Primarily to those of us that aren't like that. I go way out of my way not to be like that. I tell you my opinion on something, but never force it on you. Like, that's all I got is opinions. There you go. Peter says it. Those holier than thou corner. Yeah, we're thinking alike. I agree, Peter. Nobody likes that. And just ignore it. They can do whatever they want. Think whatever they want. Keep it to themselves. Or get rid of them. Just avoid them. Okay, here we go. Kitchen Witch. Tanya, have you noticed a lot of people in the keto community are trying carnivore for the healing benefits? I don't see too many people converting from carnivore to keto, but there are some that add in some carbs. I thought about it. There's a lot of people are telling you you should. But I think the brunt of the conversions are coming our way. You're right. A lot of people, because once you've been keto, you're already like in carnivore kindergarten. You're eating a lot of fatty meat. In that respect, your body starts to become fat adapted. Your sugar cravings are probably going to diminish, but not go away. And if you're keto, you shouldn't be stuffing your face on cake, cookies, ice cream, and pizza. You should be only eating those carbs that are low oxalate vegetables. And people can eat broccoli, and people can eat Brussels sprouts, although I, for the life of me, cannot understand why. At least that's my point of view, but somebody must like it. I don't know how many of you have ever. I have a Jones all the time for ice cream and cherry pie. I mean, I think sometimes they pop into my mind, but the last thing I would ever think about craving is some friggin' broccoli. I didn't want you to eat it raw on top of everything else. Yuck. I didn't like it when I was an infant, and I still don't like it. But I ate some of it because you're supposed to eat vegetables with your meat. We all know that. We were raised that way. What kind of fool doesn't eat vegetables? We all know our fruits. They're so good for us. Whole grains. Just ask anybody. That's the problem. Everybody knows that. Everybody except a few of us Mitchfits, which started out me calling us misfits, because we are. We do not fit in this society culturally. We don't party like they do. We party with big hunks of prime rib. They party with alcohol and snacks and chips and bread. And they start and they do it all day. They're killing themselves. But they're not poisoning themselves when they just drop over dead. It's a slow poison, and it creates misery as you get older. And that's the thing that they don't realize. Most people look at disease as something that just hits you. Oh my God, I got cancer. No, this is a chronic, call it a disease, that might take 30 or 40 years to make significant damage. I know that because it happened to me, to your physiology. I've been down this road before many times, but just ignore those people that are such purists, holy rollers. We don't need them. We don't need them. Everything is about compromise. We know what's right. They finally, after they become so fat adapted, kind of naturally go to carnivore. They wake up one day and say, "What the hell am I eating freaking broccoli, for God's sakes? I don't even like it, and that fiber is screwing up my gut." And when there are no cravings for a food, you'll stop eating it. It'll go away, and the meat tastes better all the time, and you begin to transform back into the way we're supposed to be mentally and everything else. We sometimes don't even realize it. I never thought if anybody had told me when I was younger that I could be happy living on bacon, eggs, and beef and chicken and fish and not anything else. They just escaped. They were crazy. Okay. Rick says, even Kilts eat some duck soup. Yeah. And if you want to, and you're not that hard of an addict, the only reason that you can't have a little something in very limited quantities at limited times would be if your addiction can't handle it. That's my problem. The food itself, a tiny little bit of carbs every once in a while is not going to hurt you. It may be good for you. But if you're that much of an addict that it's going to throw you out of carnivore and have you running for the bakery every day, don't do it. Alcohol is the same thing. Some people are perfectly fine having an ounce of alcohol a day or a small glass of wine. But if you have the addictive tendency that 1 leads to 2, leads to 4, leads to a bottle, leads to 2 bottles, leads to you homeless in a gutter, you have to abstain. Not everybody has to abstain. Not everybody who drinks alcohol is an alcoholic. Probably the least addictive of all the drugs. I guarantee you anybody that uses cocaine is a cocaine addict. Anybody that mainlines heroin is a cocaine addict. Not everybody that drinks alcohol is an addict, and not everybody that eats sugar is an addict. And unfortunately, sugar is the oldest addiction because it dates back to the fact that we had to have impetus to hunt for survival food. You didn't get out of bed unless the mind could impel you to do it. And that's where the cravings came in. The craving is an anticipation of enormous pleasure. And we have the chemistry, which is designed to give us a little taste of that enormous pleasure when we ate the sugar. So when the craving hits, it's like, hey, remember how good that was? Remember how great you felt, how much comfortable and how pleasurable it was to eat that? Well, you could have that again. You just got to get your ass out of bed and go out there and dig for it. It's there. And you too can have all that pleasure again. That's temptation. And it's that feeling that got our ancestors out of the goddamn caves when they didn't want to because they were probably just as lazy as we are. What is it? 8:43. Holy mackerel. I am not even 15 minutes into the stream. I am more than a half an hour behind. Okay. Every day about this time, I get the sudden realization that I better hurry up. But I don't want to miss the questions. Lizzie, if we don't have the fatty cuts, it is important to add butter or tallow, correct? Yes. I'd be scared of the butter, so today I'm going to the butcher for some beef fat. Yeah. Beef fat, bacon grease, just fat. Just fat. Most of the cuts of beef you find at the butcher shop are not fatty because 99% of the shopping public doesn't want to buy fat. The leaner the meat they're buying, the more of a bargain they think. They go, I'm getting a lot more meat for my money because there's no fat. And the butchers just cut this stuff off. It's a crime to take a perfectly fat ribeye and trim it down to where it looks like a filet mignon. Ridiculous. But yeah, eggs. I'll tell you how I pretty well make sure that I get adequate fat. I don't try to do it from beef, although I do try to find a fatty prime rib, but I know that if I eat bacon and eggs, and I do almost every day, and a good quantity of them, I know that there is exactly the right amount of fat in bacon and eggs. Eggs are 50% fat by weight, the perfect ratio, exactly what you need. When you cook an egg, the fat's there. Doesn't taste greasy, but the fats are there. Bacon, loaded with fat. You know that by the amount of bacon grease that renders out of it if you cook it well. I leave most of that in the frying pan, and I cook my eggs in it, and my eggs will soak up even more fat. So when I get done that big breakfast of bacon and eggs of mine, I know that if I ate beef or something else later on that wasn't as fatty, and I try to eat chicken thighs with the skin on because that's plenty of fat. But if for some reason I didn't get the fat from the meat, I have gotten a load of fat from my bacon and eggs every day, and it seems to work for me. Seems to work for me. There is a test I've talked about a lot. The old poop test. Take a look in at what you're doing. If you're constipated, need more fat. If you're the opposite, you're eating too much fat, and make your changes based on that. It's a great scale. It's not hard to figure out. But if you're regular every day or every week or however often, and you don't have to bust a gut trying to get it out. On the other hand, you don't have to bust a gut trying to keep it in. You're getting fat. You're getting the fat. There's no need for you to make the changes. Don't just make change for change sake. You figure out if the change you're making isn't going to make things worse rather than better. That's another problem with the human race. And politicians play on that. Vote for me, vote for change. You go, excuse me, what if I like things the way they are? What if I don't want to change things? What if I vote for you and you screw everything up changing it? We've been through that. Every 4 years, it seems. Just we assume change is good. Why? It's that bad? If you run around thinking that things are that bad all the time, I'm sorry. There are some good things in life. Maybe focus on them. Lizzie says, what about the alkaline water with the electrolytes? That's a very controversial topic that I don't really care about. It's not up to us to try to regulate our body's pH. It's not up to us. If you really want to help yourself, don't drink enormous amounts of water when you're eating because it will dilute the stomach acid in your stomach. Your body regulates these things within very, very narrow ranges. Most of that stuff, I think, is just an excuse to buy something. Electrolytes, we know most of us need because we know that they've been raped out of the soil and they're not in the foods we're eating. That's what the word supplement means. Supplement means it isn't where it should be, so you need to get it on the side. In a perfect world, there would be no such thing as supplements. There would only be nutritious food. And up until a few hundred years ago, that seems to be how the entire human race has lived for millions and millions of years. Eat the food, the right food, all the nutrients are there. All the nutrients we need, every single one of them, is in an egg. Nothing missing. Eat enough eggs, you may not have to take supplements. Eat the right beef. Good beef. There is some bad beef, but eat the meat. Everything necessary for human life is in there. It's in there. supplements, most of them are ripoffs. Well, my phone is going crazy. What is all that about? I don't see any coffees. Somebody tried to, not a junk call. God bless it. Every day. Every day. Phone goes crazy. Spam call. Spam calls. Phishing calls. We're targets. We're targets for everything these days. And don't you think that the supplement industry isn't one of the biggest frauds on the planet? I watched a video yesterday talking about creatine. This guy actually went to the trouble to have creatine gummies, or the big rage. The big rage. They're candy. He exposed most companies as pure flat-out fraud, charging $60 for a bag of 90 gummies, because you're supposed to take 3 a day to get your 500, to get your 5 grams of creatine. Had no creatine in them at all. They were candy. This is the most popular brand of creatine gummies that all the athletes and weightlifters eat. He tested the 10 different, he went to a lab, he spent money, he tested 10 different brands of gummies. Of the 10 brands, only one of them had the full 5 grams per serving. One of them came close at 4.85 grams per serving. One of them had 3-point-something grams. One of them had 2-point-something grams. And the rest were all candy. So, even if you think you need a supplement, chances are and odds are you're going to be had and fooled that you're taking some placebo, and you'll swear it's helping you, because that's what placebo is about. When you think you're doing good, self-fulfilling prophecy. You think you are, you're convinced you are. So, supplements, I try to stay away from them, and especially things like water that's supposed, or a drink that's supposed to change the pH of everybody. Now, I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I've never gone too far astray, assuming that all these sales pitches are just phony nonsense. I've usually, most of the time, been right. And I avoid them. Like the sponsorship. Ask Ken Berry about the sponsorship deal he bought into where they and then turned around and hijacked his whole channel years ago. And he couldn't even log into his own YouTube channel. And they were posting things under his name on his channel. And they got in because they had a scam that as a sponsor, they need access to your channel for certain things that they need to do. And he trusted them. Well, they finally made a big deal out of that, so nobody trusts most of these people anymore, but I don't trust any of them. I would never give anybody access to my YouTube channel, period. Because when they have access, they go right in there and change change the password. And there you go. Not your channel anymore. It took YouTube, I guess, a week or two to fix it. And I can't even imagine trying to deal with the people at Google to straighten something like that out. Peter says, I finally learned to get rid of them. No, I learned to get rid of them a long time ago. I just hated to do it because I'm a kind and loving guy and don't like to be mean to people and like to give people benefits of the doubt and never tried to censor anybody. But I had to finally put my foot down. Say, it is my house, but you don't come into my house and crap all over the place. You behave yourself, or you go to somebody else's house. Bill Cook is here. Hiya, Bill. Wow, my behind 8:51 and it's 9:29 now. Not too bad. Where is Topo Chico water bottle? I don't know that, Kathy. I don't know that, Kathy. I know that this San Pellegrino is supposed to come from Italy. Seems to me. Wow. I mean, it's all marketing. That does me no good, that stuff. No good. It's just marketing. It plays to people's luxury instinct. Everything is luxury. Luxury house, luxury apartment, luxury car, top shelf liquor. You must be better than everybody else because have more money because you only settle for that. And that's another fraud that's used on us so much. What the hell is the difference? I drive a Hyundai. My Hyundai Palisade is more luxurious and rides better and I think better quality than a Mercedes-Benz that costs 4 times as much. How do I know? Because I was one of those guys that had to have the Mercedes-Benz when I had tons of money. And I learned what a fraud it was. The stupid thing was always in the shop. Cost me a fortune to own. I finally, when I went broke, way back when, I said, that's it. I'm going to start buying Hyundais. And turns out they were the least troublesome car I'd ever owned in my life and the cheapest. And that's why they've gone on. People would find it out to become one of the major players in the auto business now. And they no longer have the stigma of being cheap junk. They're beautiful, beautiful cars. When I was a kid, a label that said "Made in Japan" meant cheap junk. Now, "Made in Japan," you look up to. Names like Honda, Sony, became the best stuff in the world. And over a course of years, that "Made in Japan" lost its stigma. Interesting, though. Interesting. If you lived long enough to see these changes, maybe you could understand them. I gotta search for. Although we're probably pretty good. We got time yet. I never get done at 9:30. And I really have a reason today. Who's this? Maureen Asali. Asali. Good morning, friends. Good morning, Maureen. Welcome. Welcome. Tom's evidently had his blood work. I don't know if he knows the results and he's teasing everybody because he's going to expose them on his live stream where he hasn't got the results yet. I don't know. Too much chat for me to try to read all of it. Now what? Give me a second. I don't want to miss anybody that's kind to me. Oh, more junk. More junk, no coffee. Okay. Florida, Kathy, question, pre-carnivore, when you were getting kidney stones, how many green smoothies were you? Well, not a ton, but I was eating a lot of almonds and a lot of dark chocolate. I was getting most of my oxalates probably from the other different plant matter I was eating. I wasn't on the green smoothies, and I bought into it, but I hated them. I mean, it just disgusted me. But I ate almonds by the ton. I'm lucky I didn't poison myself instantly. They say that if you buy a big bag of almonds at Sam's, raw almonds, and eat half a bag, you'll die from cyanide poisoning. I think I got pretty close to eating that many almonds at one sitting. Because you just don't stop. You just keep eating them and eating them and eating them. And dark chocolate, I could go through that stuff. I was going crazy. And I thought I was doing myself good. What's 80%? Can't be that bad for me, so it'd be good for me. It's got those polyphenols. I didn't know what that was, but I knew it was good. If you've ever seen Idiocracy, the movie from 30-some years ago, Mike Judge's movie. Great movie, Idiocracy. They used to say, Brondo, it's got electrolytes. You didn't know what they were, but you knew you wanted them. You knew they were good. Well, that's what advertising's about. You don't have any idea what the hell they're talking about. They probably gave something else a name, but you know that they told you that you're going to get a healthy dose of them. You say, I want that. Give me that. That's for me. And we were all fooled into this from people who didn't even know, who thought their intentions may have been great. And even today, all the people pushing healthy fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, probably all these dietitians can't be evil. These people think they're doing you good. They're telling you the right thing. These doctors who want to get you on a statin before your heart blows up think they're doing the right thing. They're all brainwashed. And they're so brainwashed that any advice to the contrary is unheard of. Unheard of. And you say, but we have proof. And they say, that's impossible because this is settled science. Settled science. And then they call you a denier. They have all the tactics to make sure that nobody interferes with the flow of money into their evil pockets. And they leave a swath of casualties and suffering and pain and death behind them as they speed down the road in their Lamborghini. And that's what it's all about. That's what life is all about. You can't take that instinct and urge out of the human animal, the urge to get more for himself and not worry about. You think the lions in the jungle worry about the prey that they kill and the fact they may leave some poor infant animal motherless because they just ate mom? They don't care. Well, we're built under all of this civilized crap that we've invented. That's the way we're built. And I keep telling people, oh no, Mitch, you have no idea. We're kind of. Let me tell you something. Just look around you at the riots. When anything is an excuse to riot, it's an instinct in these people who feel like they're not getting their share to go out and burn things down and riot, even if it's their own neighborhood. Think about what would happen if every store shelf, in every grocery store, every 7-Eleven, every candy bar, all those shelves were bare. There was no food. Think. And you tell me how civilized we'd be. Even the military and the National Guard with the guns that are supposed to be keeping us civil would be right in the fray with us. It would be total anarchy. Nothing could stop it because that's the human animal. And anybody who believes that, I pray, I hope that none of us ever has to find out. But we can see, especially in some of the third world countries, we can see that type of behavior constantly every day. Every day. People without trying to survive. Stealing, killing, just so we can take your stuff. Because we can't get a job, poor us. That's the real world. And I think it makes you a cynic. And the longer you live, the more you see of the real world and a little less of the fantasy world. I don't mean to be that down, but that's reality. That's reality. I know Kiltz, he gets on every morning, talks about all the positive stuff. That's great. I love it. I watch him. I love it. Makes me feel good. Motivates me. I'm more pragmatic than that, unfortunately. Trying to instill a little caution in people because I think that does people good. Makes them a little wary, maybe a little less likely to fall for these scams and get ripped off because they think everybody's so good as they lose their house to some mortgage scam. You see this every day. I feel that if you can make people aware of some of these things, you're doing some good too. We each have a place in what we think is maybe trying to enlighten some people. I always admit that I might be wrong about everything. About that, I wish I was wrong. About human nature, law of the jungle. Oh, I'm so far, so far behind. Mama Bear's here. Hi, Mama Bear. How are you? I guess Thomas let out his A1C. I didn't see that. He says, "Oh, I'm not even here today. I'm reading the chat. Nothing you're saying has anything to do with anything I'm saying." So, okay, 6.2 number, Thomas, not bad. You're in the pre-diabetic range now, but you keep going. You get it down. You will get it down. Thank you, B. Boy, I needed that. A compliment. Somebody's listening to me. She says, keep pontificating on almost knowledgeable. Oh, now you're going to make me blush. Only you can enlighten us and do it so well, Mitch. Thank you, B. I hope you're not being facetious, but or sarcastic. I'll take that as a compliment either way. No, I know you're being nice. I appreciate that. All right, we're talking all this conversation at this point at 9:15 was about Thomas's A1C. Here's a single Q, and I actually noticed it. V Team Paranormal. Wow. V Team Paranormal? That's an odd name for somebody. Maybe you're a carnivore paranormal. Question is, do I need to take vitamins and mineral supplements on carnivore? Wow. Well, I can only answer that and be very personal, be absolutely honest. How the hell would I know? No one can give you advice like that because you may need supplements and you may not. It all depends on you. Depends on all of the levels of different things, the kinds of foods you eat, everything, a million different variables about whether you're getting enough of anything or not. The people selling supplements will always say, you can't live without them. The purists who are living without supplements because they're eating perfect food will say, shouldn't need supplements. I can't tell you because I don't know you. Even if I knew you, I probably couldn't tell you. Even if I was your doctor, it would take a bevy of testing, going over any little symptom you may have had that might be indicative of a nutrient shortage somewhere. So I understand that it's a great question, and we all ask that question. I ask it, do I need supplements? But the way to find out is you have to find out somehow. You have to analyze. You have to really know your stuff, or be with somebody that knows their stuff. Unfortunately, very few nutritionists and dietitians today know anything. So there really is no place to get advice. And Ken Berry is not taking new patients. That is a problem that we all face. Lack of qualified medical personnel who actually know anything about nutrition. And you better know everything about nutrition before you start recommending supplements to people. I tell people what I take and why, But you have to limit your advice to that. Basically, it's just electrolytes. And depending on your vitamin D blood test, maybe you need some D3 and K2. You have to, well, electrolytes are pretty commonly missing from our food because of all this factory farming and the fact that the soil has been so raped that these minerals, iodine, the symptoms of the iodine deficiency are pretty well known and usually shows up in some kind of a thyroid problem. If you don't have that, chances are you don't need it. But there are no shortage, thousands of different supplements at each of their manufacturers' claims. It's such a miracle, and you can't live without it. I think you're better off almost taking no supplements than too many supplements. I think you try to eat the good food. That's all I can say to you. But it's an excellent question. I didn't mean to make fun of it. I wanted you to understand the reality of that. Rockin' Keto Army. Wow, that sounds like a fun army. Welcome. Welcome. And who else we got here? Everybody's chatting. Wait, what time is it? 9:19. It is now 9:46. Wow. Was it? I'm not as... Yeah, the old saying, the hurrier I go, the behinder I get. Yeah, it's appropriate here. Michael Pregler, I would not doubt it. You're an athlete. Resting heart rate of 54 and 55. Yes, sir. And when I could work out and wasn't, I used to have a handicap like I am now temporarily, my resting heart rate was always in the mid-50s. And it'll get back there, but I'm very happy with it the way it is. Oh, look at this. Robert, Amy says, I was ketovore for 7 years and now I'm carnivore for 3 days. Oh, you've been almost a carnivore for 7 years then. If you were ketovore, that's not a lot of carbs. I don't think you were picking out on a gallon of ice cream every night, that's for sure. Looking forward to questions. I see if we can get them out of get the rest of them. I have to speed up. Can't read. I get sucked into your conversations. I read a few words and then I slow down. Then I start reading and it reminds me of something. I go off on a tangent and I get further behind. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch, folks. Been like that, likely to stay like that. But I think it's fun. I have a good time. Thomas. Oh, here it is. My A1C now 60%. Thomas, congratulations, young man. Congratulations. Yes, sir. I'll drink to that. Keep it up, man. You're on the right track. Won't be long. Here we go. Couch Potato answered the question. Topo Chico is bottled and sourced in Monterrey, Mexico, owned by Coca-Cola. Oh, isn't that rich? Isn't that rich? Thanks, Couch Potato. That is so fabulous. You think, I wonder if it's the same, I wonder who owns San Pellegrino. It's probably Nabisco or somebody like that. So you come out there with your bottle of Topo Chico and your little pinky finger up in the air and you're being sophisticated like that. And somebody comes along and says, hey, man, I see you drinking that Mexican Coca-Cola. Oh, that's great. It's great. I love it. I love it. The person goes, what? Yeah, man, it comes from Mexico, like from Coca-Cola. Oh, man, that's great. Yeah, it's incredible because so many of the companies that we demonize constantly actually own some of the companies that we're making big deals out of. They all buy them up. They want to get into every space. They don't care whether it's carnivore, keto, healthy, not healthy, low carb, high carb. They just want to be able to sell you something. That way, they can sell everybody something. And food companies have done that for years. I forget who it was. They went out and they bought the Atkins bar brand. Yeah, they adulterated it, but they still could put Atkins bar on the label, and people were buying them like crazy. And they turned them into candy bars. That's all they were. Most of these protein bars are candy bars. You think people buy them for their protein? No. They buy them because it says chocolate peanut butter flavor on it. You think most people buy some of these flavored electrolytes because they're really interested in electrolytes and being healthy? No. They buy it for the flavor. Just ask Element what the ratio of their sales are from their flavored to their unflavored. It's a con. It all is a con. I hate to be so negative, but we've got to get to the point. It's like clicking on a link in your email. Most of us know now. Don't click on links in emails unless you know who they're from. You will get screwed. They'll ruin your computer. We know that, and we can accept that. Well, that is no different from everything else that's put out in front of us. The food labels, the advertisements, the drug commercials. It's all the same shit. How can we fool you into buying the shit we're selling that we know is no good for you, but that you'll think you're doing the right thing? I've gotten so jaded and cynical over the last few years. I don't believe anything people tell me. If there's money involved, I don't believe the fact that the car dealer sent me this big, fancy, colorful ad because he cares enough about me to want to make sure that I don't miss this deal that's going to end tomorrow. And it's everything we do, everywhere we are, and especially in the food we eat and the drugs they're trying to foster on us. The deception is everywhere. And that's why we have to be so careful with our food labels. It's all great to be rah-rah and positive and everything, and then go out and buy food that's adulterated because they mislabeled it or left some stuff off the label. And it's full of crap that you're trying to ignore. Kelsey's got the right idea. If you do nothing but eat raw cow, you're probably safe from that. But anything less than that, somebody's in the chain of custody of that cow before it gets into your mouth. You have to try to get the best that you can. Eggs are the same way. And it gets more and more difficult as there's more and more deceit in the marketing of these things to us. And the reason they can market those things to people is because of the immense amount of propaganda out there that they can latch onto. The first people to do this effectively, if you remember, back in the 60s, 70s, when Ansel Keys and his nonsense took hold, and the low-fat type diet, the propaganda got that to sink into us. The demonizing of saturated fat and red meat. The pushing of healthy whole grains and sugars and plant-based diets, because Adventists took hold even before then. It all came together and presented the biggest opportunity for massive profits to the big food companies. An opportunity to manufacture their foods for a third of the cost and sell them for more because they could be billed now as healthy. And the first inkling, the first preview of what was to come came from our friends at Nabisco, and it was called Snackwells. Remember them? Snackwells. Cooks cookies and pastries and baked things. No fat, no animal fat, no butter, nothing but grains, seed oils, and sugars, the cheapest ingredients on the planet to make anything that you claim is food out of. Certainly, seed oils were much cheaper than butter. Grains were cheap. Snack oils, and on the box, heart healthy. And not only did they spend a fraction of what it used to cost to make cookies. Remember butter cookies? Not only did they make more profit per box, but they could charge more for it because it was healthy. So they made more profit on you two different ways because you bought into the crap that the government and Ansel Keys were selling to us. And there's no shortage of people that were right there. Right there. Take your order, please. How many you want? And it has just gotten so out of hand. I don't think there's a single product on the market that says heart healthy on the label that is actually heart healthy. The only foods that can qualify to actually wear a label like that are animal products. And cows are not born with the heart healthy logo tattooed on their side. It's why we say eat one ingredient foods. What's in there? Beef. Well, you stand. That's the best chance you got, but you're still assuming that the label that it really is just beef with no other additives. So any food now that has an ingredients label this long, I know it's fraud. I know it's phony. They're hiding something. They got 65 different ways, names for sugar, for God's sakes. So it's easy to keep on track if you just eat whole foods. Eat an egg. Chances are, I don't even care if it's the worst of all the eggs, coming from the worst of all the chickens, is still unadulterated at least. The only thing you put up with is what the chicken ate, but it's probably better than anything else that comes prepackaged, and an egg comes prepackaged. That's why we chase after the pasture-raised eggs. Try to get past all the marketing labels they put on these things, because if they put in Sam's Club on a package of pasture-raised eggs, these chickens eat nothing but worms and grubs and peck in the ground all day. People go, yuck. But that's what chickens do. So for a while, they were labeling those pasture-raised chicken eggs as being 100% vegetarian fed. And I thought that was the most absurd thing I ever heard. It's impossible. So marketing. You can't listen to any of it anymore. Most marketing is a fraud. That's the definition of marketing. When you send somebody to marketing school, the curriculum is, how do we fool people and con people into thinking something we're selling them is not, or it is what we claim it to be and not what it really is. It's a con job. It's a con job. It's big business, though, marketing. So be wary. Be wary. Take just a few simple precautions when you're looking to buy some food. And generally, we buy animal products, fresh or frozen. In the fresh stuff, it's usually not too many shenanigans. But in the frozen stuff, they can pull all kinds of stuff. So be very careful and looking at the labels of the frozen foods. And I have done that with the burger patties I use now and the salmon fillets I use. I've done a lot of looking and trying to figure out what's the angle. But the likelihood of there being an angle is slimmer because it's not a bargain. Stuff's expensive. The good wild-caught shrimp are expensive, frozen or not. The good wild-caught sockeye, salmon fillets are expensive. Even though they're frozen, they still cost the same. So it's not like you can buy it, you can get the same thing cheaper. It's just a different form it comes in. But there's no ingredients in it. It's salmon, and it's flash frozen, and vacuum. Each individual piece is vacuum sealed. I like it better than the fresh stuff because I can cook it from frozen and it's fresh. So I've limited I keep limiting the foods that I eat down to a certain egg I think is as good as I'm going to be able to get without having my own chickens. A certain kind of meat, which is acceptable, the kind of Costco and Sam sells. May not be the best, but it's, I think, healthy enough. The bacon I buy, I like that Wright's bacon. And yeah, it's probably got a little sugar cure, but the sugar does not end up in the bacon. So I'm certainly not worried about nitrates. I think nitrates are good for me. Celery actually has more nitrates than bacon. When's the last time you heard people saying, can't eat celery because of the nitrates? But they all tell you, oh, you can't eat those processed meats because they have nitrates. It's bullshit. Bullshit. But you have to deal with a hell of a lot less of that bullshit if you only eat 4 or 5 different things that you buy, and you've taken the time to make sure that those things are as represented. Unfortunately, they cost, because it still costs the manufacturer money to give you the real thing, a lot more money than to give you something that's phony, claiming to be something that it's not. So a good, healthy dose of cynicism is the healthiest thing for a carnivore in this market and in this world today. And don't buy into, just because you think they're an expert, don't buy into everything that every influencer on YouTube that tells you, you need to eat this, you need to buy that, you need to take this supplement, take that supplement. Don't buy into that. It's easy, though, because we want to trust these people. And so many of these same people have great information. You have to... Peter says you can leave Topo. Peter, where do you learn all this shit? It stays carbonated. Yeah, it's amazing. There's something wrong there. There's something wrong there. The natural physics of carbonation dictates that it bubble out of the liquid. How can a liquid keep bubbling all day and still be carbonated? Sooner or later, it's got to run out of whatever it is that's making it bubble. Maybe they've got some other poisonous chemical they figured out how to throw in there to keep it carbonated. San Pellegrino, you leave the lid off, it goes flat. Most sodas, you leave the lid off, they're going to go flat. I guess Coca-Cola has figured out some way, but I don't know about that. Oslo's here today. How you doing, Gary? I see Jim's talking to you. 9:41 times it now, 10:04. Catching up, looking for some cues. I keep talking. I go off on these things. Answer another question. Mitch, have you ever made a leftover roast, an egg scramble? It's my new favorite. I make it in my Mueller pan. Well, sounds delicious. You can do that with almost any meat. I'll tell you what I like to do. I like to mix fish and eggs. I like to take salmon and mix it in with eggs. Sardines or anchovies with eggs. Anything with eggs. Ground beef with eggs. Bacon with eggs. So any kind of beef, any kind of leftover you have, you cube it up. Throw it in a skillet with a little butter. Just get it. You don't have to Cook it, it's already cooked, but get it a little warm. Pour the eggs in and scramble them up. I do it with shrimp. One of my favorite omelets, besides the crab meat omelet, which in order to have one of them, you got to take a mortgage out on your house. Getting to be almost that way with the shrimp, but I use these Argentinian red shrimp, wild caught shrimp from Sam's. They say jumbo shrimp. They come out this big. They're not big shrimp. They're not the kind of big prawns that you get with a shrimp cocktail, but they're perfect size for making with scrambled eggs. I love it. The flavor on those shrimp is so intense, whereas the farm-raised shrimp tastes like eating cardboard. But they're expensive. $10, $12 a pound. You got to pay that much. The good news for us carnivores is we don't eat that much food or that many meals every day. What I spend on food in a day, all the food I eat, 2 pounds of food, is always less than what it would cost me to go to Sizzler Steakhouse and get their cheapest meal. If you don't eat out, you can afford to really eat good food for the same money. And if you especially avoid the convenience stores and the Starbucks, you'll do real well. You can spend $20, $30 a day just on snacks and coffee. Easy. Little bag of something, $5.99. The prices are stupid. And almost as stupid as actually eating the crap. But yes, anything with eggs is great. Eggs is kind of like the universal food solvent. And just anything goes with it. Can't think of too many foods that don't go with eggs. They put eggs in everything. In Chinese, you get some fried rice from the Chinese restaurant. It's got eggs in it. Not that we're getting fried rice from the Chinese restaurant. I haven't done that in a long time. Kathy says, I need to put $5 in a jar for every day that I don't eat my sugar trigger food. We quickly pay for a new outfit. Yeah. Or a bunch of steak. All right. I go fast again. I end up getting dragged into the conversation. I'm looking for questions. 9:53. It says, oh, I'm getting fairly up to near the present now. 9:55. Yes, I love Dr. Fetke says sugar makes you hungry. No shit. No shit. That's what I talk about all the time. Makes you crave survival food. Carbohydrates make you fat. Seed oils make you inflamed and sick. Yes. Yes. I think anybody that knows anything should be saying that. Certainly Ken Berry says that, and everybody else. And I've talked to you about what I think, in my own theories, is the root of all of these addictions, and it is in the survival of our species in times of famine, and how we adapted to find another alternative, temporary alternative. And unfortunately, we have taken that temporary alternative fuel, which is carbohydrates or sugars, and we've made it our primary fuel and demonized the real fuel so that people think they're being smart by not eating meat and animal fat. And you have to say to yourself, how can so many people and so many professionals and so many industries and medical professionals and doctors and hospitals and nutritionists and dietitians and educators who educate these people, how could so many people have been so misled as to now believe almost in a religious manner the opposite of what's true in all cases? Makes you want to doubt whether you're not the oddball and they all know what they're doing. It takes a lot of conviction to give the middle finger to all these people and call them ignorant. Because when you're one of the majority, you don't like the minority telling you you're wrong. And they've got the world set up like that now. And all the people in power, in all the corporations, in all the hospitals and medical community, medical schools, a lot of them probably know they're wrong. But their livelihoods, their position, their legacy, their reputations have all been grown on misinformation, and they can't tell everybody that they were wrong now. And they push against it, push back against it, and call us fools. I thought I knew how bad it was until I had to be in the hospital a few months ago. I had no idea it had descended into such nonsense. And they all run around and play their part in the game because their life depends on it, because that's how they make their living. And unfortunately, now we've got most people in this country who make their living on based on a fallacy. Well, you can't take that away from them. What are they going to do? Oh, you're right. I guess I won't have a job. I'll let them take my house and I'll die. But they won't admit it. They will not admit it. Science is especially like that. Scientists, there's an old saying that science advances one funeral at a time. Think about that. In order for the new young scientists who know something, for them to get any kind of recognition or people to treat them credibly, all the old guys have to die a natural death. And their bullshit dies with them. And then the new guys become the authorities. So it takes generations to change anything that has become, oh, everybody knows this. Well, yeah, that's the problem. Everybody knows it. We need to change everybody's mind somehow. It's monumental. Well, I made that video the other day, which is the worst performing video I've ever made. Never had a video in years that got so few views about how we need to find some way to influence the children and play their game like everybody else does, and have campaigns devoted to winning the hearts and minds of children, because if we don't do that, we'll never change anything. But nobody got it, I don't think, and it wasn't compelling. And it certainly wasn't a video telling you how to throw a chuck roast in a slow cooker. See, in my opinion, I said, wow, this is, you want to know what the answer is? This is it. This is how you do it. This is how they're doing it. How they're doing it now with our kids. They're telling them when they're in second grade that maybe they're not a girl, maybe they're a boy. And then the kids start talking about that stuff. And it becomes part of their culture. But they grow up. They grow up believing all the wrong stuff. That's why we're so sunk these days. That's why we have no hope. Not only is our diet wrong, but these kids are so screwed up, they don't know what to believe. And all they do is have cell phones, and they hide in their room all day and talk about this shit with their other friends. They're going to grow up and control the world one day. How the hell are these people going to become carnivore? Do they have to get to be 40, 50 years old, get sick, start watching Ken Burry videos like the rest of us did? That's not the way to make any monumental change. And by that time, there'll be no more family farms. We will have gotten rid of all that long ago. You won't be able to buy a cow anymore. You have to buy something that's made in this factory owned by Nabisco. And drink Brawndo, because it's got electrolytes. It's good for you. Talk about a prophecy. Mike Judge was a prophet beyond his years back when he made that movie Idiocracy. I see that stuff coming true. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So we have a little tight-knit community of people. We're trying to help each other. make sure we can still find the good food, define what makes up what good food really is. That in itself is amazing these days. You can get past all the propaganda and advertising, marketing, restaurants, everything else. I'm not going to get into that now. Kathy says, why might nitrates be good for us? Because if you've seen anything about nitrogen, NO2 in the blood and how good it is, everybody keeps bestowing it. There's a few videos that talk about the science of it. Ken Berry's got them. A lot of people got them. Just look them up. Say nitrates. They're not harmful. It's a normal part of life. I heard Ken Berry say we have 1,000 times more nitrates in our saliva than you find in bacon already. I think it's a scam to say you got to avoid them, and I haven't heard anybody that I follow or think is on a level say anything about avoiding nitrates. And I see everybody here is telling me how bad nitrates are for you. I think, well, maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Watch Ken Berry's videos on nitrates and then come back and tell me if you think I'm wrong. Because I'm mirroring what he said. I have looked at the chemistry, and there's nitrogen is important. We do a lot of things that they claim you want to boost your nitrogen, your NO2 in the blood. Yes, it does dilate arteries. That's what they say, but is that a bad thing? That's what blood pressure medication does. You lower blood pressure by making the arteries bigger. That's a natural blood pressure regulating function. You want pressure in a tube to go down, you make the tube bigger. Start squeezing it off, then the pressure starts to build. And that, I think, is correct. I made it to the end of the chat. Good. What was this? I so wish that shrimp didn't spike my blood sugar. There's no friggin' way shrimp is going to spike your blood sugar unless you're eating something that's got something other than shrimp in it. I can't believe that, Lily. I can't believe that you can actually attribute a shrimp for raising your blood sugar. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't mean it couldn't happen, because I don't discount any possibility of anything. But if it contains no carbohydrates and spike your blood sugar, wow. One of these days I'm going to have to find out if and I'm not saying it doesn't happen to you, but how do you know? Do you eat shrimp and have a CGM hooked up to you, and you read your blood sugar 30 minutes after you ate all these shrimp, or do you prick your finger? And could it possibly be the way you're cooking the shrimp? Maybe it's a spice you're using. I don't know. I would look into that. Nitric oxide, Mitch. Breathing exercises help with increasing nitric oxide. We need the nitrogen. And B said that. Yeah, thank you. Well, my friends, it's now almost 20 after 10. And pretty well, I guess this morning is pretty well shot. People are leaving us. I think I want to thank everybody for coming in. Play you a little bit of happy music to say goodbye to everybody. Question says, Ed DLC, should I ask my doctor if she was an A student? Seems to me that I know more about nutrition than she does. If she was an A student, Ed, think about that. Then she excelled at learning the propaganda that they taught her, which means she's a smart person, but an ignorant person at the same time. She's got the brain power, But her database is full of nonsense and propaganda. So, yeah, a student, I don't care what kind of student they were. I'd rather have a doctor that never went to medical school. That was realistic. These medical professionals, I don't care how good they are, they all give you advice that'll kill you, every one of them. Every doctor I met didn't know anything about what caused my stroke, anything like that. Couldn't give me any good advice except you need to be on a statin, you need to be on a beta blocker, and you need to be on aspirin, and you need to cut out eating meat and cut out eating fat, and you'll be okay. That was a prescription for an early, painful, miserable death. People like that ought to be categorized as attempted murder. And when I saw the medical bills, I was incensed about how much money they got paid to attempt to murder me. That's reality. How can you not be incensed by the stupidity and the ignorance? Now, I could still have another stroke or die by not following their advice, but I can tell you this. I as sure as hell would have started a downhill spiral to the grave if I had followed their advice. Probably gone completely broke because there'd be increasing medical bills, tests, lab tests, hospitalizations as I spiraled to the grave, making all of them even richer. I want no part of that. I sometimes wonder if anything happens, if I would even call 911 anymore. I say to myself, you know what? I think I'll just lay here on my own and see what happens. If I die, I'll die. But to throw myself back into the clutches of that ignorance, consciously allow them. Now, if they find me unconscious somewhere and take me to the hospital, I'm stuck. But if I have a conscious say-so in it, man, it scares the shit out of me. After that hospitalization I just had and the doctors that I had, I don't know. I say to myself, Mitch, you lived a good life. If you keep it up on their terms, the rest of your life will be nothing but pain and suffering. I don't want that. I don't want that. That's a somber note. I'd like to finish this on a happy note. So, I'm just well sunk into reality myself. I've lived the reality all my life. Every lesson I've learned has been the hard way. Do they call that wisdom? Maybe, but it's no fun. I'd rather just be happy. Rather be happy and ignore all this stuff. I admire Kelsey. For his positivity. I believe in positivity, and I live positivity with my guard up, and that's probably a good way to say it. But listen, friends, been great. Good talking to you all day, all morning, and have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll see you. I'm trying to talk and read at the same time if I sound like I may be wandering a little bit. Retirement says glycine placed under the tongue. Okay. Yeah, you all got, all of you. We all know these miracle things. Every one of us knows some of them. And all we do when we put them in a chat like this is we give each and all of us just something, some other bullshit that we need to add to the list of bullshit we already have. Stop it. Stop it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't keep making it more complicated than it is. Tell us what we can leave at home, not what we have to have in our pocket all the time. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of seeing this. Everybody's telling me and everybody else, you need to do this, you need to take that, you need to do this supplement, that supplement, you need to jump up and down 3 times. No. Eat meat, eggs, and bacon. And forget this nonsense unless you have a very specific medical condition that requires it. That's the advice that will work best for the majority of us. Stop listening to the quote experts so much, because everybody's an expert now. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And if I sound like I'm getting a little impatient, is every time I glance over to the chat, I see another brilliant piece of advice that I'll never remember and will turn out to be a fraud anyway. So if I alienate some of the viewers who do this, I'm sorry. This is a keep it simple place. I won't have my mind cluttered with it, and it hurts me after I rail and rant on here trying to steer people to what I think is right, and they watch because maybe they believe me. That simplicity is the name of the game here, and I'm backed up by Kiltz and most of the other really credible guys with that. Uncomplicated. Make it thoughtless. Effortless, simple. It works. You won't have the need to fix anything because there'll be nothing broken. And if you're sick, go to a doctor. Sometimes you got to do that too. Try to find a doctor that has some common sense. But wow, I wish I hadn't read that. I wish I never heard the word creatine. Every time you hear these things, you think, well, maybe I need that. And then you just go one step closer to screwing up the good thing that you already found by adding something. And then yesterday I see this video about how most creatine supplements are fraud and basically just gummy candy. None of this can lead anywhere good. Eliminating it. That's what we do in Carnivore. We eliminate the need for all the crap and noise. Keep it simple. And on that note, whether it be happy or not, I'm going to tell you, thanks for coming, my friends. I'm going off and keep it simple today. Check out the Amazon deals, Prime Day. If you want to buy something that I don't have on my page, go in through my links anyway. Help an old guy out. I will see you tomorrow. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.